Hello, everyone. Danny here today to talk to you about the audiobook Stanley Pargo in Suburbia, The Crooked House, written by C.L. Clarke, narrated by Philip Battley. This is a bit of a change from any of the books that I have listened to recently, although it is I don't know if it's really a genre, it's an age group book that I used to listen to all the time. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a middle schooler book. I'm listening to it because the author contacted me, said, hey, I have this book I think you'd enjoy. Would you mind listening to it and letting me know what you think? And I said, sure, I would love to. But of course, I'm going to let the author know what I think by posting it in a video and letting the whole world know what I think. That being said, it has had absolutely no influence on my opinion of the book, the fact that the author sent it to me. But this is a style of book that I used to listen to all the time. Why did I used to listen to a book like Middle Schooler? Are you talking about years ago, Danny, when you were a kid? They didn't have audiobooks when you were a kid. You're right. They didn't have audiobooks when I was a kid. They barely invented paper back then. Definitely didn't have audiobooks. That's a bit of a joke there, but you didn't have audio, anything other than TV and radio when I was a kid. By the time I was a teenager, they had invented cassettes. So that's a bit of a hint about how old I am. However, when my kids were younger, they had upgraded all the way to CDs, and you could get audiobooks on CD. And we would take these long car rides, especially when we went to visit my in-laws who lived in California. We live in Washington State. Truck driver, I'm not stopping unless it's for a bathroom break. So the kids are going to get stuck in this car for 16, 18 hours because we're driving straight through. How do you keep kids entertained in a car for 16 to 18 hours? You find good audiobooks and you put them on. And you know what? A good audiobook will not only keep the kids entertained, it will keep you as the driver entertained and awake. And because you enjoy the book, you can talk to your kids excitedly about the book. It's a win-win. We'd stop, rest break time, everybody get out, stretch your legs. We're going to throw the frisbee, the baseball, football, whatever. We're going to stretch for a little bit. What would our conversation be about? Our conversation would be about the book we were just listening to because the entire family is like in on this book. What's going on? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? If you do what modern parents do nowadays, which is just allow their kids to get engrossed in TV and, we're going to take a long car ride. Hey, make sure you bring some DVDs for the back seat so you kids stay entertained. What are you going to talk to your kids? You're driving. You and your wife are doing your thing up front. Your kids are doing their thing in the back. Where's the connection? You've got yourself trapped in a car with your kids. You've got this magical opportunity to connect with your kids. And what are you doing? You're putting a wall up. They're watching something back there. You're driving. You dang well better not be watching anything. Although I have seen some crazy stuff in my years as a truck driver. You're missing out. Put on a good audiobook. Now, your next question is, well, is this a good audiobook? Is this an audiobook that I, as an adult, would enjoy? Well, I'm 50 years old, so if I enjoyed it, an adult would enjoy it. Or is this, would my kids enjoy it? What kind of a book is this one? I'm about to tell you that. But before I get to it, I have a favor to ask. If, like me, you love audiobooks, please subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, join me in my audiobook journey. Now, what are the keys to a really good audiobook? Something that will keep the kids engaged and keep the adults engaged, especially when the kids are younger. Now, as they get older, their taste will grow to be more like you as an adult. My oldest son called me a week ago, and we spent a good 45 minutes to an hour talking about a book that we had both just listened to because our tastes have grown together. You've seen me have nephews. My youngest son has done a few videos with me. We just recently did a video where we went through our top 5 books of, the last year. And it's a connection that we now have. It started when they were young. It is carried through to now. But you want to pick the right book. Wrong book, the kids hate it, you hate it, and nobody's happy. What would the right book be, especially when they're younger? Well, I can tell you, key, narrator. You got to have a good narrator. A good narrator will enhance the story. He will bring it to life in your imagination. A bad narrator will either put you to sleep or just utterly destroy the book. Philip Battley is not a narrator I've ever heard of before. Excellent choice for this book. He did an amazing job. He brought the book to life. He brought the characters to life. He brought the emotions to life. So there's actually a lot of emotion in this book. And I'll get to that when I talk to you about the book next, or my next point with the book. Actually, I'll talk to you about it now. So you have the boy, Stanley Pargo, who wakes up in the middle of the ocean in a hat. He's floating in this gigantic hat. He's got some supplies. He has no clue where he is. He has no memory of anything. His memory starts when he woke up in that hat. And he's confused. He's scared. He doesn't know what's going on. You get a lot of emotions going on there. The right narrator can really bring those emotions to life. Philip Battley brought those emotions to life. As the story progressed, as his emotions evolved, you have moments where he just gets really angry and frustrated because he's a small boy who's lost, away from home, has no memory, he's scared, and he feels like the people around him aren't understanding, aren't giving their all to help him get home. And so he has moments where he's angry. Those emotions come to life. You contrast that with the other characters in the book. There's 3 characters in this book. That's the other key to a good book for younger children. You got to keep it simple. You get a book with multiple storylines, multiple plot lines, too many characters, younger kids can't follow it. They get lost in the minutia and they get bored, and then they don't enjoy it. This one keeps it simple. You've got one plot line overall. Where is Stanley Pargo from? How is he going to get home? It's an easily understood plot line. It's not complicated. Kids can follow it. You've got 3 characters. You've got Stanley, you've got the professor, and you've got a talking crane whose name just slipped my mind. I hate it when that happens. Getting old is not for sissies. Yeah. See, now where was that? I lost where. It's simple with the 3 characters. Each of the 3 characters is their own very unique person with their own very unique personality. That's another key to it. If all of them are the same kind of person, same kind of characteristic, then the kids pick up on that and they get kind of bored with that as well. You don't have that. You have the boy who's lost and scared, Stanley, and his emotions come from a place of being lost and scared. You have the professor who's kind of oblivious, doesn't really know what's going on a lot around him, is smart, eccentric, and clueless, isn't even really aware of how he treats other creatures. His emotion and characteristic is different. You need a narrator that can do the scared kid and do the professor. Philip Battley does both. You have the talking crane, who is the manservant and is very prim and proper and calm, your British manservant. He does an excellent job of when he's the bird, bringing out the bird's characteristics, bringing out any emotions in the bird. And that's, with the boy, the emotions are overflowing. He's in a volcano that erupts at times. With the bird, he does have emotions, but they are stated in a very calm manner. You still get that. When something is said to the bird that hurts the bird's feelings, the narrator is able to express hurt feelings in the book, even though the bird is being very prim and proper and not saying or doing anything. Just, yes, sir. No, sir. I'm kind of a little disappointed that you would say or do that, sir. Kind of a thing. That's a good narrator, and this was a good choice for a narrator. The book needs to be silly. If you've raised kids, you know that young kids' imaginations just run wild. and the sillier, the more they love it. However, it can't be too silly or we as adults just go, oh my gosh, change the channel, please. So there's a fine line to walk there to where it's silly enough that the younger kids will be engaged, enjoy it, they'll laugh, they'll have fun, they'll get drawn into the story. But it's not so silly that you as an adult check out. You as an adult can still enjoy it. You as an adult can still chuckle and laugh at some of the scenes. You as an adult can get drawn in. This story does walk that fine line. I had no problem listening to this book whatsoever. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this book. I can guarantee you, when I have grandkids, if I go to take my grandkids on a drive, which will probably happen, this will be a book that I will put on when they are younger, because I'm going to want to establish that connection I have with my boys. I'm going to want that connection with my grandkids. I'm going to want my grandkids to have a love of books. And don't think that, oh, they're audiobooks. They're not books. It's not the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Whether you listen to the book, whether you read the book, there's no difference. Otherwise, why would it make such a difference when parents read to their children? And there's all kinds of studies about the difference that parents reading to their children makes in the children's development, in the children's imagination, and all sorts of stuff, and in the children's love of books. Listening to it is the same as reading it, especially when you get a really good narrator. Actually, I think a really good narrator enhances it. And my boys all have this love of books that started when they were younger through me and their mom. I would read to them. We would listen to audiobooks. And now we have this connection of books. All three of us have this all four of us, three of them, one of me, all four of us have this connection with books. I'm going to want that with my grandkids. This will be an excellent book. It's going to stay in my library, and I'm going to save it. And when I have grandbabies, I'm going to be like, hey, we're going on a car ride. We're going to listen to this, and we're going to enjoy it. My wife hasn't listened to it yet. Now, my wife, I can listen to a really good book over and over and over and over and over and over again. My wife doesn't like that so much. She likes listening to a book and not going back to it for a decade or more. She hasn't even listened to it, and I know my wife will enjoy this book, and it will give us that connection with the grandkids. If you like my video, please hit the like button. If you like my channel, subscribe. Turn on notifications. Questions, comments, feedback. It's what the comment section's for. Put them in there. But most importantly, no matter what else you do today, make sure that today you listen to at least one really good audiobook, especially if you have kids. Listen to it around your kids. And yes, I absolutely recommend Stanley Pargo in Suburbia, The Crooked House, written by C.L. Clark. Thank you. Have a great day.